And you guys, it's day number 51 of my 365-day Jimmy Ice Bath Challenge. Every single day in the year 2022, I have committed myself to getting into this ice bath. This is the Morozco Forge, and I'm getting in there every single day with big old chunky monkey pieces of ice, big thick pieces of ice into this ice bath. So I've been doing this since the beginning of the year. If you're brand new, welcome. Go back and watch my old videos. If you just put in hashtag Jimmy Ice here on Instagram, on YouTube, on Facebook, you will find the past videos. You can kind of see how I've progressed along over these first 51 days. And one of the things that I've been doing is I've been bringing up a topic every day. And yes, I have lots of topics to talk about when it relates to cold therapy. The most interesting one lately, you guys, has been what's been happening to my body prior to getting into the ice bath. So about a month ago, I told you guys about an hour before getting into the ice bath, I felt myself getting warmer, like almost like I had a fever of sorts. And so that was interesting to me. I didn't really think anything of it. Then yesterday, I decided to take my temperature right at like 445, 450, right before I came on the air. And my temperature was 99.3 degrees Fahrenheit with a thermometer. Today I did it again. Today it was 99.2 degrees Fahrenheit. So my body is preemptively warming itself up. And I want to talk about this. Will you get a low-grade fever if you start doing ice baths? And what does this mean? So let's talk about that once I'm in there and relaxed. Welcome. I hope you're having a great Sunday. We're about to get into, I didn't see what the temperature of the water is. Let's see. Today it is 32.9 degrees Fahrenheit. So 32.9 degrees, just under 33 degrees. 5 minutes on the clock as always. Make sure that camera angle's good. Yep, there we go. And 5 minutes on the clock, go. And in we go. Okay, you guys, so some days I look at this ice bath and I'm just like, do I really want to get into that ice bath? But then I get in here and I get settled and I'm like, okay, that's my brain talking. That's my brain telling me about the dread part of this. Because when you first get in, it's kind of a dread. But it's not bad. Once you get your breath under control, you can handle this. But today was one of those days I was just like, I don't know if I want to get in. But I always know once I'm in and I get settled, I'm okay. And like right now, I'm pretty good. The obvious things are happening. My feet and my hands are the coldest. My legs are pretty frozen. I can feel the cold. and the rest of my body, I can feel the cold, but it's not bad. It's not unpleasant. Let's just put it that way. And I think part of the reason why is this phenomenon that I first started noticing about a month ago. So right at just about a few weeks after starting this challenge, I noticed that about an hour before getting in the ice bath, my body would preemptively warm itself up. And it was just a subjective feeling at the time. I didn't even really test it to see if I was actually warmer or if I was just thinking I was warmer. But I physically would feel warmer at around 4 o'clock Eastern, right at an hour before I would come into the ice bath. So yesterday, on a whim, and I talked about this a little bit yesterday in yesterday's video, but yesterday on a whim, I decided, okay, it's about 10 minutes till 5. Let me test my temperature with a thermometer. So I put the thermometer in my mouth, and it read 99.3 degrees Fahrenheit. Now, 98.6 is about what I typically run. And so when it was 99.3, I was like, wow, look at that. It's a low-grade fever area, but nothing to be concerned about. So I thought, okay, that was kind of weird. Let's do it again. Let me test it again today. So again, today I tested it right at the same time, about 10 minutes before getting in here, and it was 99.2 degrees Fahrenheit. I'm like, all right, there's something here. There's something going on where my body is having some kind of a response in anticipation of getting in the ice bath. I just thought you guys would find that really fascinating, that the body can become adapted and actually remember kind of the stimuli you give it, and then will seek to protect you. All right, it's getting down to the end. I need to dunk my head, so let's... Woo! That is awesome. Yes, I have made it a habit of saying woo when I get out of the cold water. It should be like, whew, that's over. Yes. But isn't that cool how the body physiologically is responding to this stimuli? And I think that is a benefit of doing this at the same time every single day. 5 o'clock. Yeah, there was one day when I threw it to 2 o'clock just to see what would happen. But for the most part, my body is priming itself to be ready to get into the ice bath at 5 o'clock. And so if that means making it warmer, knowing that you're going to get cold, that's neat to me. I don't know about you guys. Like, I didn't even think that the body would even adapt to something like that. But here I am on day number 51. It's definitely become a pattern, and it's been a pattern probably for a little while. I'm just now quantifying it by measuring my temperature, but pretty darn neat. And as always, the hands are still frozen. The toes are still frozen. I literally just got out of the ice bath, those of you coming in here. And a really fascinating phenomenon I was telling everybody, for those of you coming in late, that my body preemptively kind of warmed itself up about an hour before getting into the ice bath. And now, like at a low level fever, like 99.3 yesterday, 99.2 today. I will test my temperature. Yesterday when I got out and I tested my temperature about 5 minutes after getting out, it went from 99.3 to 98.4. So it dropped almost a full point with me being in the ice bath. You would expect that. Like, I'm going in 32, 33 degree temperature water. You would expect my body temperature to drop. That's duh. So, all right, let's see who's here. Mary's here. Pam's here. Joe is here. KSKQ is here. KCIT is here. Vesna's here. Aaron's here. Dan's here. Texas Livingstone. Keep Austin Keto. So many people here. Thank you guys for being here. Colin's here. KSQ2 has a heart smile face. Thanks for that. Beth is here. Sivan. Dr. Landrew is here. Isa Maizu's here. Gwen's here. KSQ2 says Frozen. Oh my gosh. And then Frozen. Yes, if you've never seen me in the ice bath before, that is very cold temperature water. And I am purposely putting myself in that water with a purpose in mind of healing my body and all the things. So, P. Macias is here. Olivia's here. Tootie's here. Vicky's here. Fedora, Shirley, Jay, Keto Vampire, Unrefined Trends, Blondie, Miss Shaygram, Dawn, Human Being Nutrition, Bulletproof says, go Jimmy with 3 ribeye steaks. Hey, 3 ribeye steaks sounds pretty good right now, Bulletproof. Sure does. Cozy and Dan waving at me. And Urban Knight just got here. So yes, day number 51, guys. I am continuing to learn so much on this ice bath journey. Because I've done cold thermogenesis for a little while, and I've known about it even longer than I've done it. And I just continue to be fascinated by all the little nuances of things that I learn about this. And I'll keep sharing what I learn. Like if I come across things and I keep discovering and noticing things for myself, I'm going to keep sharing those things. So thank you for following along. I know sometimes it's not always glamorous to watch a guy get into cold bath every single day, but I try to make it fun, entertaining, educational. And yeah, this whole idea of the body warming itself up preemptively to deal with the ice bath, that to me, I've never heard anybody talking about this before, and I'm going to try to dig a little deeper into it. I have an assumption it has something to do with the brown fat. I have an assumption that it has something to do with the body's ability to adapt to situations. But I don't know. Like, I would love to really get into like an Arctic anthropologist and maybe pick their brains a little bit about why would the body be making itself warm preemptively. But I guess it's the same thing where they've done the experiments with animals, for example, where they put a steak in front of them where they can smell it, but they can't eat it. And then they feed it to them. Then they put the steak in front of them the next day so they can smell it, and then they eat it. And then the next day they put the steak in front of them so they can smell it, but then they pull it away. And yet they still have the same salivary response. And I wonder if my human body is doing the same thing, where I know I'm about to get into the cold exposure. And so my body has, when it first started, my body knew it was getting in, but it didn't really know until I got in and the body temperature dropped. I had more shivering back then. I had a lot more prickliness in my hands and all the things physiologically dealing with this. And now that I've become more acclimated, now that I'm getting this response where I'm warmer beforehand, now there's no prickliness in the hands when I get in. Numb, yes, but not prickly. And I can handle it better. It just seems like my body has definitely gotten used to this, that it's expected. And I don't know if that's a good or bad thing. It's an undetermined thing at this point. All I know is I'm definitely able to handle the cold water better on day 51 than I was on day number 1. So that's good. I will take that. I want that. That was one of the goals of this, was, can I get adapted to the point where I can handle it? Could I get adapted? I don't know that I would go colder. 32 degrees, it's about as cold as you can go without the thing turning to all ice. And so I still need it to be water. So then length of time in there would be the next thing people are asking me about. But I think the 5 minutes is just perfect, because I get enough of the numbness in my hands and feet that I'm like, okay, I don't want to go much more numb than they get. And now that I'm dunking my head beneath the water, I feel like what I'm doing is just perfect for now. Now, maybe during the summer, when my body temp will naturally be warmer because of the warmer temperatures outside, maybe that will change things, and we'll obviously cross that when we get there. But we've got all year long to deal with this. One more thing before I get out of here, you guys. So I've been talking about my sleep patterns the past few days on these ice bath videos. And I started dunking my head 4 days ago. And that night, I slept through the night. You guys know I do kind of this segmented sleep where I have a first sleep, I get up for a few hours, and then I go back to sleep for a second sleep. And usually I have a lot of deep sleep, like 2.5, 3 hours of deep sleep, and then a modicum of REM. Well, I did that 3 nights in a row where I got the continuous sleep, starting 4 nights ago, and then 3 nights ago, and 2 nights ago. Continuous sleep, had killer REM sleep. My deep sleep actually went down, but my REM sleep went up, and I slept continuously through the night. Well, last night, I dunked my head yesterday for the ice bath, but last night, my sleep went back to the segmented sleep. So I went to sleep right around 7:30, and then I was wide awake just before midnight, like 11:45. Then I was up for a few hours, and then I went to lay back down, and I slept for another like 2 hours, 45 minutes. And then I was up for the day. Guess what happened? Deep sleep went back to 3 hours again. And REM sleep went back to the 1 to 1.5. So it's funny, sleeping continuously through the night enabled my sleep to shift over to more of a REM cycle and less of a deep cycle. And then doing the segmented sleep, which I think is helped by the ice baths, the segmented sleep actually produced more deep sleep and less REM. Now, the cumulative of both is still really good. Combined REM and deep is still over 4 hours. But isn't that fascinating how it shifts? Now, look, REM and deep, it's kissing cousins, in my opinion. I think if you get either one of those, you're getting good. Although I will tell you subjectively, when I get deep sleep like I did last night, over 3 hours of deep sleep, I feel great the next day. Yesterday, when I had 3 hours of REM sleep, I did not feel as great as I did today. In fact, I was more sleepy yesterday than I was today. And yesterday I slept continuously through the night, whereas today, which would have been last night, I had the segmented sleep again. So it's just an ancillary thing to these ice baths, because the ice baths have increased my sleep quality, but then allowing my body to naturally go back to segmented sleep again, I think is benefiting it more than trying to force it to do a continuous sleep. So I'm going to keep an eye on all that stuff. It's just truly fascinating to me, you guys, to keep learning about how my body is working. And again, I think the ice baths are regulating a lot of this stuff, and optimizing it and making it even better. So I will keep observing, and obviously I'm using the Oura Ring. For those of you wondering how do I know my sleep cycles, I use the Oura Ring to track the various cycles. Somebody asked me if I'm tracking my HRV going into these ice baths every day, and I'm not specifically testing HRV with like a chest strap or anything. This does have HRV on it during the sleep, and I have noticed that it has ticked up some since I started doing the ice baths. Nutrition Minded Movement says, are any food intake changes that would indicate sleep patterns? No, I'm eating the exact same food that I always do. I'm pretty keto carnivore, and I don't really eat anything within 4 hours of bedtime for the most part. There's sometimes that I go and get some food late in the day if I'm hungry, but most of the time I'm done eating and drinking pretty much around 3 o'clock in the afternoon, so that by the time I hit the bed at around 7:30 or whatever, I'm fully emptied of food in my body. So no changes nutritionally. As always, I do take some MCT oil and I do take some magnesium, but I always take these things. And the only thing I've changed this year is doing the consistent ice baths and getting in every single day for 5 minutes in 32-degree temperature water. And then lately, the only change is I've been dunking my head the last 4 days. And at first, I thought it was the dunking of the head that made the shift over to a continuous sleep. And it still may, by the way, you guys. I may go to bed tonight and sleep all through the night, one continuous sleep. But it didn't work that way last night. I'm trying to remember what woke me up. I think I had a little bit of pain here in the shoulder. I've been having the chiropractor help me try to get that, and he could feel that something was out of whack here. So he's given me some things. So if I'm in pain, that will make me want to awake. So I don't know, did that wake me up? But I was up for a few hours, and then I went back to sleep again, and then got pretty good sleep after that. And yeah, over 3 hours of deep. People are so jealous when they see that. They're like, how do you get that much deep sleep? And I've been working on it a long time. This is not something new that I just started working on. I have been working on my sleep and doing all kinds of things for my sleep for many years. So you keep working all the angles till you figure things out. And for me, part of the things that I have figured out is I need to do cold therapy closer to bedtime. Because I tend to feel most relaxed, so that helps you sleep. Lowering my core body temperature, that helps you sleep. Obviously, dunking my head does something to the brain chemistry as well that helps, I guess, boost some of the serotonin levels and things like that. So I will keep observing, keep doing all the things, you guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. Day number 51 in the can. I will be back again tomorrow with another ice bath video. But thank you guys for watching, and I'll be back again soon. Bye, everyone.